first off, remember, snack is a noun. It's not a verb. Snack is a snack, not snacking. So kind of keep that thought in your head. All right. Another thing people ask me about is about going to the store and what they should look for on a label, because you get confused. Everything says all natural. Everything has all these certain labels, and you see the labels on products, right? But what exactly should you be looking for? I'm going to touch upon that too, as well as some of my favorite go-to snacks that I like to use. Okay. So first off, I want to get to the labels first, because what should you be looking for, right? Because we talk about, carbs and whole grains. What should you be looking for? You should be looking at your total carbohydrates, first of all. I'll give you an example. This is a brown rice quinoa microwavable packet. These are sometimes my lifesaver. Costco, gotta say. But this is what I want to show you, the label of it, okay? So let me get up a little bit closer so the camera can kind of focus in on it. But you want to look at your total carbohydrates, okay? So you should have 1 gram of fiber for every 10 grams of carbohydrates. So this has, let's see, fiber is, where are we? 7 grams, and the total carbohydrates is 37. Okay, so this is good because there's 7 grams of fiber in this baby, all right? So let me break it down to you a little bit simpler. If something has 2 grams of fiber in it, how many carbohydrates? You don't want more than what? 20. If it has 3 grams of fiber, you don't want any more than how many total grams of carbohydrates? 30, okay? You get it? 4 grams of fiber, no more than 40 grams of total carbohydrates, okay? You want to have more fiber, and that's really what it's all about, okay? Now, the other thing you want to look for is sugar. Sugar, oh my goodness, sugar can be so tempting, but you want to have more fiber than sugar, okay? So when you're looking at your label, if it has more sugar than fiber, it's not the right choice to make. You also want to avoid added sugars, because you notice on a label it always has sugar, and then right under that it has added sugars. You want that number to be 0 added sugars, okay? So that's something very important to look at. The other thing I look at is sodium. Okay, when you're looking at sodium, I'll go back to this packet again. You want to look at the daily value, percent daily value. So you're looking at your label, right? And it always has a column, percent daily value. Okay, so this right here, sodium, says 300 milligrams. That's 13% of the daily value. Okay, so what does that mean? You want to look at the daily value, because if you have something that's about maybe 5% of that daily value, that's low, that's great. But if you have something that's over 20%, when you get into that like 500, 600 milligrams of sodium on certain packages, especially things like this, that's where it gets a little bit tricky, and that's what you want to stay away from. So you want to say anything between 5 and let's say no more than 20% of that daily value. That's really what's worked for me. Serving size is important if it's written on the label. Like, for example, if something says 20 chips, you can count that 20 chips, If something says half a cup, can you measure it? So you want to check on your serving size. That's also very important. Ingredients, if you're eating clean, make sure that you can understand all the ingredients, and make sure that there's really only between 5 and 7 ingredients. Like, for example, almond butter, one of my favorite snacks to use. Almond butter, the ingredients are roasted almonds. That's it. That's all that's in here, okay? I understand what that is. But that's just to give you an example, especially if you're eating clean. Different things like avocados, a great healthy fat, but you don't eat the whole darn thing, okay? Eat a quarter of it at a time, all right? So that's definitely one thing you want to keep an eye on. Other things we do, like, for example, cheese. Everyone loves their cheese because everybody in your head thinking, oh, cheese is a protein, cheese is a protein. But you have to kind of ask yourself, with that cheese, does it have more fat than protein? Okay, so if it has more fat than protein, that means it's really not a protein, okay? So just keep that in mind too. And other things you gotta think of, oils. When you're using different oils, use the cap to measure, or sometimes you have the spray-on oils. So for example, if I'm cooking up some broccoli for dinner, I'll put it in the oven, but I'll spray it with a little olive oil spray and then put some seasonings on it. That way I can control how much is on it rather than just taking the bottle and doing one of these, because you can't really measure that, and that gets out of hand after a while. And your salad dressings. Everyone loves a good salad and you think you're eating healthy, but when you put on some of that salad dressing, if you put a little bit too much, that's where it really gets tricky. So salad dressings, you want to be, if you're getting it from the store, it should be under 40 calories per tablespoon. If it's not, dilute it with water, and make sure you're doing something that I use a lot of containers. So like little containers like this, maybe I'll fill half of it so that I know that's all the dressing that I'm going to use for this salad. Because if you just take it from the bottle, it's hard to measure, guys. All right, other things about measuring, serving size we talked about, nuts. Okay, Costco's a big thing now because everyone wants to go shopping now once and not have to go again for a while. So you come home with a thing like this, of nuts. Nuts are great, healthy fat, right? But the problem is when you sit there with the bottle and you just start picking at it, okay? So get another container, fill it up, and then you know when this is done, you're done with your snack, okay? So it's all about not eating out of the packages. All right, so let me give you some of my go-to snack ideas, and we'll talk a little bit about food swaps too that you might not know. All right, so if I'm a little hungry throughout the day, one of the things I do, I get whole Greek yogurt, okay? I mix it with some fresh berries. Berries are great for you. Strawberries, blueberries is what I usually use. I put that, I measure it out, I put it into a bowl, and I eat that. You know, sometimes I'll sprinkle a little honey on top of it to give it that natural sweetener. That's one of my go-tos. Sometimes I'll even just have like a light salad, you know, and do that because veggies, I mean, you can have non-stop veggies. It's great for you. Or I even snack on some of these little baby tomatoes, okay? Another great snack that I like to do is carrot sticks, okay, with some hummus. I know it's almost gone. You see, we love our hummus, but it's about measuring it out and portion control, okay? Put it in a small container so that you know you don't keep dipping into this big old thing, okay? You want to measure it out. So that's another good snack to use. Another snack I use is tuna fish. Tuna fish I can cut up as a snack. Since it's a snack, I'll probably use half the can. I'll make the whole thing, but I'll save it so I have a snack, you know, for another day. But I'll use this and I'll mix it up with some celery, some onions, and I'll use Greek yogurt instead of mayonnaise. It tastes amazing, guys. I'm telling you, you gotta try it. It's a great food swap. Swap out mayo for Greek yogurt, I'm telling you. And that I'll put over some whole grain crackers, you know, but make sure you check the total carbohydrates of those whole grain crackers and the fiber for it. Or I can put up a piece of bread, I'll put it in the toaster oven, and I'll put some almond butter on it, and I'll slice up some bananas, and I'll put that on top of it, and that can be a great snack. It's filling too. What else do I have? Okay, so we're talking about chips and things like that. Let's be real. There's some times where I just want that crunch and I want to sit there and I want something like crunchy, like a carbohydrate to have, which is fine. But remember I said, look at the bags. Okay, so this is, oh, I love these things. One of my go-tos. These are multi-grain tortillas. Here's the reason why they're great. A lot of you had the Tostitos. Are the Tostitos? You got to look at the fiber and the total carbohydrates, okay? So here we go. These are these, okay, serving size about 1 ounce, about 10 chips, okay, 10 chips, here we go. So the fiber is 2 grams, 2 grams of fiber. Total carbohydrates is 17, so we're good, okay? So this is great. 0 added sugars, perfect. Sodium is only 3%, so it has low sodium, which is another important thing. And these are great, and I know all the ingredients in here because it says it. We have ground corn, we have sunflower oil, what else do we have? Canola oil, brown rice flour, flax seeds, sesame seeds, quinoa, sea salt, okay? So I know what's in here. And I can use this with some fresh salsa. That's what I like to use too. Chips and salsa. You can still have it and enjoy it, but you portion control it. This I put out into a little container too, just like I have my 10 chips or whatever it is. And if I go 10, 12, 14, okay, yes, but I know when to stop because I portion control it. I put it into a little bowl and I know what to do. Another great one I like, veggie crisps. It can be whatever brand you want, but these are great. They have cauliflower chips too. They have those that are great, but you can see here we have, let's see, fiber is 3 grams, total carbohydrates 19 grams. We have no added sugars. Sodium is 6% daily value, so we're good. And all these ingredients, yep, I know exactly what they are, but it's about portion control, okay? The serving size is 15 pieces. It tells me exactly on here how many pieces I can get, all right? Another great one, if I'm throughout the day and I start to get that little hunger in me, I'll grab one of these little cereal bars. Well, I like to call them nut bars, actually. This one is from Ratio, but what you want to look at the label. You know, this one has 12 grams of protein, 2 grams of net carbs, 1 gram of sugar. Okay, so this is a great one to have. If you're having a snack, the snack should be about 150 calories. Think of it that way. You can go up to about 200 depending on your workout schedule and what you're doing, because you might want to bump up those calories if you're onto a hardcore workout schedule. What else do I like to have? Green tea too is another great thing that I like to have. Green tea, because sometimes late at night you want to go for that snack, right? So what do I do instead of going for that snack and maybe going for these or these, right? Because you don't want to eat these late at night. I'll make myself a cup of green tea and I'll call it a night. And I'll go to bed early. If you're staying up till like 2, 3 in the morning, that's what happens. The later you stay up, the more you tend to snack. So these were some of my good ideas, guys. If you have any other questions, write them below. I'll get right back to you. Stay tuned. I'm going to have some more tips coming up soon.